Do you understand English but cannot speak to people when you need to? Do you know many words, but when you need to use them, you simply cannot? In this video, we will identify the main problem and find the solution to it. I haven't introduced myself. My name is Vitali, and I am a non-native English speaker, just like you, my friend. Just like you, I have struggled with speaking English from time to time throughout my life, even until this day. But don't worry, with time it gets better, I promise you. I'm here to help you. Before we start, remember that you can slow down the video or turn on the captions, also known as subtitles. When you are at your early stages of learning a language and there is a situation in which you actually need to use your English, it can be very, very frustrating. But first, let's imagine you're in school. Your teacher gives you a task to speak with a partner, which is usually going to be your friend. You are easily able to do it. You don't worry at all. You say what you know. You don't stress about making a mistake because you know your friend won't judge you. In fact, your friend understands you despite the mistakes you've made. Back in my native country, Ukraine, my English was always considered pretty good. I was a real English nerd. I loved English with all my heart and actually knew a lot about it. I was what is called a grammar Nazi. As soon as I graduated from the university, I thought, damn, out of all the things I like in my life, I know English better than any other. And so I decided to move to China to teach English there. Oh dear, things completely changed. First, I had to record a self-introduction video, just a few sentences about myself. But I couldn't do that. I stuttered and stumbled over words. I was nervous as hell. I recorded, messed up, deleted, recorded again, over and over again. At some point, I finally managed to say all the sentences into the camera. I watched it, and it was, pardon my language, absolute shit. A lot of words were pronounced wrongly. My accent was thick and terrible. I made lots of mistakes, but I didn't think that I could manage to make a better video, so I sent it. Spoiler alert! That introduction video was accepted. It was successful, even though it was so bad. But why? We will find out in just a minute. So I arrived in China, and one of the first conversations I had was actually my first job interview. It went terrible. I couldn't answer some basic questions because I couldn't remember the most basic words. The interviewer wasn't even a native English speaker. She was a Chinese girl whose English was actually worse than mine. I wanted to sound perfect. I wanted to be impressive. But because of that, everything happened the other way around. I spoke very slowly, repeated myself all the time, made a million mistakes. Mistakes I would never make back in Ukraine. Why? Because I was overthinking everything, making myself even more nervous. Like the fact that it was a job interview wasn't stressful enough. Spoiler alert, I got the job straight away. And do you know why? The answer is the same as to why my intro video was successful. If you think, probably you just didn't speak as badly as you are telling me now, because you did mention that you were an English nerd, then hear this. There are many stories just like these, but with my Chinese. It is super basic, super wrong, but most of the time my basic interactions were successful. I promise you, my Chinese is really, really bad. Really wrong. I know like if 100 words, but I use those words with confidence. And despite being wrong, it is usually enough for a basic conversation. Finally, let's answer the question why. Why was my video successful despite being really bad? Why did I get the job despite speaking English like a retard? Why can I communicate with Chinese people despite my Chinese being full of mistakes? Because in real life, nobody cares about your mistakes. Nobody cares about your accent. Do you think native speakers don't make mistakes? Oh, they do. And they do it a lot. But do you think there are any problems with them being understood? If your answer is yes, then you're wrong. More than half of my friends that are native English speakers say stuff like, for example, I would have broke it.
What? You would have thought that would have broke.
You know, verbs with have are used in their past participle form. So the correct way is to say have broken. If I asked, do you mean you would have broken it? They would reply,
Yes, I would have broke it.
I would have broke mine eye strings, cracked them.
They wouldn't even notice that I said the phrase differently from what they said and still say the same mistake. In texting, it would be even worse. They would type, I would have broke it, because would have sounds exactly the same as would have. So they wouldn't even know it's incorrect. Trust me, they don't care. Nobody cares. This is the main problem. Overthinking. I want you to understand that it's all right to make mistakes. I want you to feel okay about it. The main purpose of speaking is to be understood, not to be perfect. No one is perfect. Those that use perfectly correct English might sometimes be viewed as weirdos. Tell me, which is the correct sentence? A. Whom are you talking to? B. To whom are you talking? Or C. Who are you talking to? You probably chose A because B sounds too strange, C sounds correct, but it feels tricky, so it can't be right. Well, you are correct. It's not C, but it's not A either. The hyper-correct way to ask this question is, to whom are you talking? Because 1,
We don't end a sentence with a preposition.
and 2,
Whom should be used to refer to the object of a sentence.
however, if you say, to whom are you talking, with a serious face at a party, someone will throw a slice of pizza at you. In fact, absolutely every person I know would just say, who are you talking to? And although wrong, it is the only way that actually sounds natural to everyone's ears. So stick with it. Same goes with how you pronounce words. If you really mispronounce a word badly, the worst case scenario is that the person who listens to you will either correct you or will ask you to repeat because they didn't get it. After that, your brain will remember how to pronounce the word correctly. And with time, there will be no more situations like that. Trust me, it works. So in order to be able to use the English that you already know, understand this. The people you talk to definitely also make mistakes. So it's not just you. And they probably don't care about your mistakes. Understood? Good. Now, stop worrying about mispronouncing a word or making a mistake when you speak, because as long as everyone understands you, you're good. We have just identified the main problem when speaking English. Fear. Without fear, or at least with less fear, it becomes 10 times easier. When you finally defeat your fear of speaking English, you will be able to speak. And from that point onwards, you will only need to perfect your English. Maybe you will want to sound more like a native speaker, which consists of 2 parts: how you speak and what you say. The first requires perfecting your accent. It's not an easy task, but I will be making videos on how to improve your accent and pronunciation, so subscribe and click the bell button because you don't want to miss those videos. And the second is about using advanced words and idioms, knowing and understanding which is crucial to understand native English speakers better. Also, if you've liked the video so far, I will appreciate that like. This video here will teach you a bunch of important idioms and how to use them with examples. And here you can learn some advanced synonyms of simple words. If you're really serious about improving your English, check out this playlist here with all my videos. This will help you greatly improve your English and start impressing people around you. I've been Vitali, this has been Vital English, and as always, adios.
Okay.